This video is split into two parts. The first one is the iOS and the second one is the macOS. So here you can see I've got macOS Sequoia developer beta here. I'm gonna download that, followed by here on my iPhone I've got iOS 18 developer betas all ready and waiting to be downloaded. So now let's start off formally. Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iRumors. Today's video is going to be the coverage of the latest iOS and the macOS. This video is going to be in two parts. The first one is going to be about iOS and the second one is going to be about macOS. So iOS 18 just released, and me being adventurous as always, as you have seen in this video, I just downloaded iOS 18 and I've been using it for about a few hours now, and I'm going to be going about in depth into everything. Today we're just going to be taking a look at some of the key features and some of the new features that came out and some of the features that were announced but yet to show up on the phone and the MacBook. So without further ado, let's dive into iOS 18. Okay, here's my iPhone 15 Pro Max, and here you can see I've downloaded iOS 18. I did take some time to take a look at it, see what are the features that were released. So let's start off from the lock screen. Let's start off from the lock screen, and firstly take a look at the lock screen. Unlock it, tap and hold, and here we can click customize. As you all know, we got the usual styles, the monochrome, the black and white, and all the styles. But other than that, the main feature that is new in iOS 18 is we are able to customize both the haptic buttons at the side. Standard is the top flashlight and the camera. How we're going to customize it, it's pretty simple. Small minus over here, just click on it, click, and here we go. We've got all the controls we've got. Even though the bunch of controls are pretty limited, here you can see there's translate, calculator, alarm, dark mode, shortcuts. It's actually very minimal, and we've got a few accessibility features as well. Not all of us are going to use it, but scrolling down, we've got dark mode, airplane mode, cellular data. That's going to be fun if you put data on it. So you can see having your data as a haptic touch. I'm not sure how many of you will be using it, but hey, it's there. I've got Apple Remote. I think Remote would be a useful app for a lot of you because maybe having Apple TV and having a remote over there might be good. Silent mode, not really. Recognize music, I don't know. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of vision, accessibility, voice memos, and wallet. This is what I wanted to talk about. Tap to cache. Let me just click on tap to cache. Okay, so it's added, and now let me just click done. Got it settled. Now we just click on Apple Cache. It won't work because Apple Cache is not available in Singapore. I really thought that they will customize it based on region, but I guess they just slap it over there, but it's just not going to work in places like Singapore. I mean, I really don't know what am I going to be really customizing it with because I don't really use haptics. The main reason for that is due to it being really press it. Rather than pressing, I think swipe up and just search for camera, because ever since there was a search button here, I'm just searching for my apps regularly. That's not going to be a big of a deal for me. So that's about it for home screen customization. I don't really have much to customize on the home screen. So far I'm just leaving it as it is for torchlight and camera, but in the future I might customize it. If you swipe up, and here we have the home screen, and this is where I would say the ugly stuff comes in. Tap and hold on the home screen, and as usual the edit button comes up, and here if we click, we've got add widgets and customize. To add widget, there isn't much. It's just the usual ones. We've got the usual, all the apps that support widget, it's open here and we can just use it. But the new feature comes in with customize. So we click on customize. Here we've got automatic, dark, light, and tinted. And automatic is okay because it turns dark mode and light mode, it's fine. Fully dark mode is fine. Fully light mode is also fine. But the tinted is what's making it look ugly. If I turn on tinted, this is how my apps are going to be. You can definitely customize the colors, but let me just customize the colors. Here you can see it just looks horrendous because the tinted, all of it has a black shade on it. So no matter what app is it, it has a black shade on it. And trust me, I don't think anyone wants a black shaded app because that just looks horrendous. And you can see that my Nike Run Club is clearly not even visible anymore. Unless in the color, everything is just black and white. My Nike Run Club just can't even show up on it. That is just horrendous. And next to it, we've got a small brightness icon. If you click on that, the whole wallpaper turns into dark, which makes it slightly bearable, the whole monochrome theme, but probably just not my cup of tea. I don't want my phone to look like straight out of a 90s era, so just gonna undo that. Let me just turn it back to automatic, and here we've got small and large. So here you can see that all the apps has its name at the bottom. The moment I click on large, the name disappears and the apps gets larger, and of course all while using pretty much the same space because the name is cut off. So if I click on large, you can see that all my apps are pretty large right now. That is it for the home screen. So next up, onto the feature that's been on Android for years, but it's new in iOS. I mean, pretty much the whole WWDC was everything about just copying Android, but hey, this is something that I like that I wasn't expecting to come on iPhone, which is rearranging the apps. click on hold, and now I can finally put my app wherever I want. I can take my health app, take it, and I can even place it in the middle. And I can take the other app, place it over here. And hey, look at that. Of course, there's nothing cool or there's nothing amusing about this. Has been on Android for years, probably something that people didn't even bother about. And now that being said, the next thing I want to talk about is the control center. Swipe down. I don't think I need to say anything. The control center speaks for itself. All the icons are rearranged. I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that reminded me the moment I saw this was my Nothing Phone 1. Because just take a look at the apps on my Nothing Phone 1. They're all circular and they just resemble the exact. Oh, looking at Nothing OS and this, I feel like this was exactly ripped off from Nothing OS. This is, I think, the second major overhaul for control center. But now if we swipe down, here we've got music, and I can control it, see where it's playing from, control that, and once I'm done with music, up again, and here I've got my usual controls. But the problem with this is now AirDrop is at the top, and now if I want to turn on my mobile data, I got to click on the control center and turn on my data. And yep, my mobile data also got its logo changed, and VPN also got its logo revamped. If you're going to edit the control center, all you got to do is just to press the plus button over here, and here you can see it's customizable. So firstly, you can see there's all these colored highlighted corners, and those are just to expand the icons. Let's click on this and let's expand Torchlight. Here you can see I've expanded Torchlight, and all the other apps just shifted down. And now let's say I want my low power mode to be something bigger, so I can just slide it, and here I've got a rectangle shaped low power mode. And now if I swipe it down, the title just moved down, and it's a big block of low power mode over there. So all I have to click is just click somewhere, and it's done. Now I can turn on low power mode, turn on Torchlight, and turn off Torchlight. And if I want to add more controls, I'm just going to click add control, and here I've got all my usual controls. These are the usual ones you can customize in control center, so we've got all of them here right for you. So we can just add whichever controls that we want, just add it. Here we have the power button. Now without pressing the power button, we can technically press this virtual button and turn off our phone. Of course, this has been out for Android for years. Hey, just saying. Now if we just swipe out from the control center, here we can see that this is the music. Of course, I can click play or pause, and I can even control where it's playing from, and I can control to whichever speaker or whichever device that I want, just by swiping up. And now if I swipe up again, here I've got all my usual control center tasks, but just in a wider. I mean, this is not really necessary, something extra, but I wouldn't say it's a very useful feature. Now if we swipe up to the app library, here you can see it's no more blurry. It's not blurry at all. The background isn't blurry, it's just your exact wallpaper. There's this smooth transition to just the app library. The app library is not like a special place on its own, it just smooths out into it. And now if I click on a folder, let me just click on this folder, and it just shows up my entire wallpaper, and it just shows me the entire folder as if it's just floating on top. It's a subtle change, but I think I really prefer this over the previous blurry versions. Other than that, you would have seen that there's a new app called Passwords, and wow. And you just saw that the Passwords app just used the Face ID, and that is another feature that I wasn't really looking forward to, and I didn't know that I would use it, but here I am technically setting up for a lot of apps, and that is Face ID for individual app lock. Previously, if you want to do Face ID for individual apps, you all know that we have to customize it from the shortcuts here. It's a whole different process, it takes time. Now, if you wanna put Face ID for an app, it's just pretty easy. Swipe up, and now let's say I want to put Face ID for my YouTube. Click on it, and I can just click require Face ID, and you can see Face ID will be required to open the app or use Siri with it. Notification previews and Spotlight will not show app content. Require Face ID, hide and require Face ID. So if I click hide and require Face ID, let me just click on that, hide and require Face ID. Okay, I'm going to click hide YouTube, and there we go, YouTube is hidden. So where will this be? That's another feature. Swipe to the sides, and here we've got the hidden folder. The hidden folder is something new. If you want to hide apps, we can hide it. So it's fully locked, so without a Face ID it won't work. So let me just click on it, put the phone away. It's waiting for my Face ID. Here you can see it's waiting for my Face ID. Face ID not recognized. So now I try again. Face ID recognized, and YouTube gets opened. So now if I click on YouTube, Face ID required to open app, and there we go, the app opens up. I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time I wanted to try out was Siri. Siri now it doesn't show up over here, and it just shows up all over the screen, and it just lights up the screen. So I wanted to try that out, but sadly Siri isn't working. I'm not sure if it's coming later or what, because I don't really know, but here we are. Siri is just the whole block over here. Now onto the smaller features. The smaller features like the Torchlight. So let's swipe down, and I want to click open Torchlight. And here you can see that the Torchlight app now has this nice cool animation or it has the scroll wheel, so I can just scroll it down all the way and have minimal brightness on it, or I can swipe up all the way and have highest brightness. We were able to do this before, but able to do it directly from the dynamic island just gives another experience on its own. I'm not saying we can't live without it, it just increases the interaction that we have with dynamic island. Now onto the calculator app. The first thing on the calculator app is if we click on the three dots over here, click on them, and here you can see I've got history. I've always wanted to see my history on the iPhone calculator, because whenever I use my Android calculator, it was so easy. And whenever I use my Samsung, I was able to see what was the calculation that I made. Did I make any mistakes? Was it having some problems? I was able to see it. But ever since I got the iPhone, I wasn't able to, and now this being here is really a good feature. Just a quick comparison to the old calculator app. I feel like these calculator symbols and the numbers are slightly thinner, like just a tiny bit thinner compared to the old calculator app. I don't know how many of you notice it, but or is it just me? Leave it in the comments below. The number no longer disappears. Usually on our old calculator, if we do the same thing, I think you all would have been familiar by now. Let me just do 12 times 96. There we go. The number just disappears and the answer just shows up. But now here, the same 12 times 96, we click it, and here we can see we've got the question and we've got the answer right over here. So here it just shows the final answer, but here we can see what is the calculation that we did and what is the answer for that. So that is something that has been on Android calculators, and ever since I switched to iPhone, I've been missing that. There's a small calculator icon here, so we click on that. We've got basic, scientific, and math notes. So we click on math notes. Let's click on, let's just try writing 1 plus 2. Does it work? Ha! It works! It actually works. Ooh, now that's cool. I wasn't expecting it to work on the first beta, but hey, there we go. 1 plus 2 divided by 2 are the answer. I was expecting it to only work on iPad. Now let's go into our Notes app and see if this appears. It appears directly on our Notes app despite us using the calculator. So the calculator and this are integrated. Okay, so math notes. Now let's go to scientific. So scientific is just the usual scientific calculator, just that now we don't have to put it in landscape mode for it to work. Oh, okay. Need to turn off the project orientation lock. Now if we turn it around here, yep. Usually we've got to turn it around, but now we just got to click scientific and let's click basic. Oh, now if we turn it around, the basic calculator is just wider and broader. But if we click on this, we go to scientific, then wow, here we go. The settings was just stuttering. It was so laggy. It was so laggy, but now I'm not able to replicate it. If we go to settings, here we can see that the battery is up top, it's normal at the bottom, and the apps are also slightly smaller compared to how it was before. So now if we go to general, and here you can see the general setting. General has a small description about what is it. I'm pretty sure Siri is gonna change to the newer screen. Now if you go to battery right here, this is what I noticed. Battery here, you can see that there's battery percentage, battery health, charging, and all that. Those are pretty normal. But if you click on charging right over here, you can see that there's change limit 80, 85, 90, 95. We can set what is the limit. Before this, there was only two things. One is optimized charging, another one is battery limit. So you can just choose either one, but now we can choose the charging limit. We can choose whichever percentage that we want. Now onto the messaging app. So the messages now got a few cool features. Now that's what we're going to be testing out. Here I've just got an open chat of a small business message that I got. So I'm just going to click, let's put food. So I'm just going to click that, long press on the send button, and here I can choose whether I want it to be invisible ink, which is of course invisible, or I can choose it to be gentle, which gives it like a smooth animation, or I can choose it to be loud, which just makes it like, just bounce up. So here I click foot and it just bounces up. And I click on foot again, long press, and I can put slam. It just slams the foot. There we go. It just slams. So I can click on foot, it just replays. It's taking some time to send. Talking about taking some time to send, cell receptions on the iOS 18 are hit or miss. This morning when I just downloaded iOS 18, I unlocked my phone, the phone I didn't even have any reception. It was just fully flat. And if you see here, it shows message sent with slam effect. And other than that, we can also react to messages. Click on this, and here I've got a whole new bunch of reactions which I can choose. I don't just have the usual options, I can just choose multiple ones and I can just react to it. Now we've got another hello, but this time I'm going to click on it, and let's say I'm going to put it with screen. I'm going to put it on screen, and whoa, there is the whole new animation. I'm just going to send it, and the whole screen lights up as hello. So that is something new. Here you can see that I've got an iMessage chat opened up right over here, and if I click on the plus icon right over here, you can see that there's a new send later option. Send later. There's a new send later option. So let me just click on send later, and let me just put good morning. good morning. Okay, let's say I want to send this, but I want to send this at maybe about 5 a.m., maybe 4 a.m. I can just choose and I can click send, and it shows send later, and it's showing these perforated lines which shows good morning. So now there's some nice features on messages. The send later feature was something that I really liked a lot. Okay, so those are some of the main features on iOS 18. Of course, I did miss out on some of the features like game mode and the creating your own route on Apple Maps. I did miss out on those kind of features, but I just wanted to show some of the main features for those of you who missed DubDub. As for the main feature, I just want to talk about, which is the Photos app. Of course, I want to show all of you the Photos app. If I'm going to blur out most of my photos, and if I'm just going to be showing you just a blank screen with a blob of patches everywhere, it's not going to be nice, and it just defeats the whole purpose. So I thought I should just stay away from showing the Photos app, but of course just as privacy concerns, and that's about it. So that's actually been it for some of the main important features on iOS 18. But of course, for those of you who have watched other videos, and for those of you who have seen DubDub, do leave it in the comments below which is your favorite feature, and of course do leave it in the comments below if you're using the developer beta or you're going to be waiting until the public release in September. So for those of you who are using, if you're using developer beta, then do leave your day 1, day 2 experiences in the comments below. Would love to read them. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.